G20. No? The G20? Did anyone attend the B20 or any of those things? Yes, so the G20 has been a challenge for South Africa. And perhaps one of those defining moments for Africa, because we decided to tick one for the team. South Africa gets blamed for a lot of things, and one of those things would be that we took up a big challenge to research policy and recommend policy that would change the way that Africa looks at entrepreneurship within the African continent. So, a quick question. Who here owns a business?
Qui dans la salle est propriétaire d'une entreprise? Si vous pourriez lever la main, s'il vous plaît.
It's approximately 30% of the room, right? Who thinks that the African continent don't know what business is all about? We do? Yes, we do, right? And I think therein lies the opportunity and why we kind of focused on broadly the B20, but about 3 years ago, India created a new engagement group called the Startup 20. And India had it, they've made some great policies for this. And then last year, Brazil extended that engagement group. It's the youngest engagement group called the Startup 20. And in South Africa, we decided to extend startup to startup and MSMEs, which is micro, small, medium enterprises. Mr. Trump said that we're doing the G100. And just at Startup 20, we followed our president's lead for inclusion. Sorry, I'll talk a little bit slower, right?
We can go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. That we focused on inclusion, equity, and diversity. In some places in the world, this is a swear word.
Donc maintenant, on va se focaliser sur l'inclusion, la diversité et.
Yeah, it's a swear word. You said that it's a swear word. I'm not going to say the swear word, but essentially,
It's not the swear word.
essentially, what we do know is that 90% of business on the African continent is medium, small, micro enterprises.
90% des entreprises en Afrique, ce sont des petites et moyennes entreprises.
And I think therein lies the opportunity for Africa to look at the Startup 20 policies that we have finalized and submitted for Africa first and of course for the rest of the world.
Donc c'est important de se pencher sur le document des entreprises qui a été signé récemment pour le développement des entreprises en Afrique.
Yes. In China, they have approximately 50 million small businesses.
En Chine, il y a environ 50 000 entreprises, petites entreprises. 50 millions, pardon.
Yeah. In the US, they have 34 million small businesses.
Aux États-Unis, 34 millions.
Do anyone have an idea how many small businesses we have on the African continent?
Est-ce que quelqu'un a une idée de combien nous en avons en Afrique?
100.
If anyone gets it right, I'm going to give you a first-class ticket to New York.
Celui qui trouve la bonne réponse aura un billet d'avion en business pour les États-Unis.
1,000.
Right, and there's the opportunity gone missing, right?
Et
On the
une
African
opportunité-
continent.
C'est une opportunité perdue sur le continent africain.
And so when I asked about, do we know about business? And the answer is yes. If we own a business, we know who our customers is, isn't it?
Si nous avons une entreprise, on doit savoir c'est quoi un business et qui sont nos clients.
And we know how much money they have, isn't it?
Nous devons savoir combien d'argent ils ont
And we know where do they spend their money, isn't it?
et où est-ce qu'ils dépensent leur argent.
And in that way, we are able to create value.
Alors nous pouvons créer de la valeur.
More critically, from an African continent perspective,
De façon plus critique sur le continent africain,
we would know that we can trade with each other, isn't it?
nous devons savoir que nous pouvons faire le commerce entre nous.
So a quick question for another first-class ticket to UK, to
No.
London.
Une autre question en échange d'un billet d'avion classe business
Yeah.
en Angleterre
With a shopping voucher,
avec un crédit de shopping.
what percentage is the intertrade between Africans? And we are 54 countries.
Quel est le pourcentage d'échanges commerciaux entre les pays africains?
Moi, je suis pas économiste. Pardon.
20%. 20%. 31. Comment on dit 20% en anglais?
Choose zero.
Hein?
Choose 0%.
20%.
Yes.
20%.
Okay. Unfortunately,
Si tu gagnes,
I'll be
là, c'est
going
bon.
on that flight alone and I'll spend the money.
Malheureusement, j'irai tout seul.
It is 17%.
C'est 17%.
17, you said 70, there was 15, 26, 5, etc. What is the problem then with us?
Quel est le problème?
Manque de l'interconnexion, connaissance. Ça se connecte pas.
We don't know each other.
Échange. Ouais.
On ne se
okay.
connaît pas.
No
We-
échange.
We can only identify ourselves as Africans.
On peut uniquement s'identifier comme africain.
And that's perhaps correct, ambassadors, that we don't speak the same language, right?
Et l'ambassadeur peut avoir raison.
And the business language is, if the rest of the world and the number one and number two countries in the world are creating employment, right?
Si les deux principaux pays dans le monde peuvent créer des emplois,
Is managing or rather leveraging the MSME sector to create 60 to 80% of their GDP.
ils font grandir les moyennes des petites entreprises en augmentant le taux des petites et moyennes entreprises. Merci.
What we need is common policy.
Nous avons besoin d'une police commune,
Do you agree?
d'une politique commune. Merci.
Right? And I think this is the opportunity and why we as an engagement group under G20, the Startup 20, when you go home, Venetia will share all the policies and etc., is to deep dive in the 5 recommendations that we've put up there.
Donc c'est pourquoi, comme un groupe en marge de G20, nous devons donc nous pencher dessus et Madame Venetia va donc partager les politiques avec nous. Nous devons nous pencher sur le numéro 5.
Yes. I think one of the things that we lead on the African continent is the fintech sector.
Le secteur de la tech est un des principaux secteurs.
Because we're able to take cash out and digitalize this so that we have an idea of how much money we have.
La
and
tech
what-
dans les finances, parce que nous pouvons prendre de l'argent, en fait faire des échanges financiers à travers la tech.
Yes. And I think the big challenge for us is how do we, as a continent, have a collective policy and framework
Le principal problème, c'est que en tant que continent, quelle politique nous avons mis en place
Entre pays.
entre pays,
yes, that we avoid this thing that when we pay each other, the money goes across the ocean before it comes back.
Pour éviter que lorsque nous faisons des paiements entre nous, que l'argent doit aller de l'autre côté, aller dans un autre continent avant de revenir.
And so there's a huge opportunity, but that opportunity is currently being leveraged and benefited by one particular group of people on the African continent.
Donc c'est une grande opportunité, mais qui en ce moment est en train d'être exploitée par un seul pays.
May I ask you who those people are on the African continent that are trading with each other more than what we know? There's a particular group of people that are trading with each other almost every second of the minute of the day, of the minute, the hour, and the 24 hours. They trade with each other every day.
Il y a un principal groupe qui utilise, donc qui profite de cette situation et qui fait des échanges financiers toutes les minutes, toutes les secondes entre eux. Et la question c'est qui est donc ce groupe?
And for that answer, there's another private chartered flight to Paris.
Il y a un jet privé
with
sera mis à
dinner
disposition.
on the Eiffel Tower. You got
Avec un
it?
dîner sur la tour Eiffel.
So you've got to tell me, who is the people that are doing inter-business trade on the African continent? More than,
Qui sont ceux-là qui font donc des
Who's that?
échanges financiers
yes,
intercontinentaux?
sorry? Chinese? Lebanese? Indian?
Arabic,
Arabic?
Brésil.
Sorry, the Jews. Ethiopians. The Americans, right? I'm going to stop there, and all of you are wrong.
Ok, vous avez tout
My
faux.
wife is going to love all these flights. So what I want you to do is all the women stand up.
Est-ce que toutes les femmes peuvent se mettre debout, s'il vous plaît?
Ah ouais? Ah oui?
Est-ce qu'on aura des billets?
Are we gonna have flight ticket?
Wow. I want to say to you and to the policymakers, in fact, on the African continent,
Je voudrais vous dire à vous et à tous ceux qui font les politiques sur le continent,
and to the men in the room,
ainsi qu'aux hommes,
the people that make a shilling, a rand, a cent, a kwacha, any other currency. Let me ask the men, what's your currency in your country?
ceux qui font
The
les
franc,
monnaies,
yeah.
les monnaies des
The
pays,
franc, yeah,
le
the
Chili, le
franc,
rand.
etc. There's
Le franc.
loads of currencies, right?
Il y a plusieurs monnaies.
The females, the women on the African continent
Les femmes sur le continent
has the most intertrade,
font le plus d'échanges
and their money goes left, right, and center throughout the continent
et leur argent
At the
traverse
border
les
gates.
continents.
at the border gates. And their products travel as well.
Les produits également sont des transactions.
So, what's key in our policy framework is that we have to look at women at the key of our economic growth.
Donc la clé dans notre politique d'action, c'est de voir
And this problem of 17%, in reality, it could be about 47% if we count the informal businesses and the way that women are trading with one another.
Donc c'est important de
You're
considérer.
welcome to sit. I don't have a private plane for you.
C'est important de considérer le secteur informel et les activités des femmes. Ça pourrait faire monter le pourcentage à
Le secteur
47%.
informel, ça a toujours-
And so the next thing that leads into that is this word called digitalization, digital transformation.
Le prochain point appelé
Digitalisation.
transformation digitale,
And of course, exchange, right?
ainsi que les échanges.
Who here has a dollar in their wallets?
Qui a des dollars dans son portefeuille?
There's one guy, there's two. In your banking account?
Dans vos comptes bancaires?
Non.
En
Right?
espèces.
That thing goes around everywhere in the world. It's welcome everywhere in the world.
Les dollars vont partout dans le monde.
And I think when we wrote the global exchange, entrepreneurship exchange, we thought about Africa and how do we reduce the barriers for trading with one another. For example,
Lorsque nous avons écrit le document d'échange concernant les entreprises en Afrique, nous n'avons pas considéré le...
You did not consider?
Sorry, I didn't get the
Can you
end.
come back again, Hilton? Can you just repeat the last sentence?
I actually went on to my other thoughts. So
Or you
We
can
lost
go
the
ahead.
thought there.
Yeah, so the one thing that we thought about as this global entrepreneurship exchange is the exchange part. And I'll give you an example. My product, which is used for entrepreneurship development by 24 governments around the world, in 70 countries around the world, for the last 2 decades. US, for example, at this time, they would take data from their small businesses that are being supported, and that data of the support that are provided to them is going into the SBA, the Small Business Administration, via the small business centers, right? That's seamless. Sorry, you go.
Sorry, I just wanted to translate that part.
Yeah.
Donc, je vous donne un exemple. Mon produit qui est utilisé par 24 entreprises dans 75 pays, et ils prennent des données dans des petites entreprises qu'ils digitalisent.
Yeah. For me to sign up anyone outside of Africa takes 5 seconds.
Pour autoriser, pour signer avec n'importe quelle entreprise qui utilise mon produit, ça me prend 5 secondes. Hors de l'Afrique, oui.
I cannot sign up anyone in Mozambique
Mais je ne peux signer avec aucune au Mozambique.
because it takes 7 months before they pay me.
Parce que ça prend 7 mois pour être payé.
So for them to trade with me, they need to trade with my office.
Donc pour eux, pour faire un partenariat avec moi, ils doivent passer par mon bureau,
In the USA.
qui est basé aux États-Unis.
And I'm 4 hours away.
Et je suis à 4 heures de temps de...
So part of what we need to do as business owners, as policymakers, as diplomats, is to have a conversation about not just people moving around, but business moving around. We can be the number one economy.
Donc nous devons vraiment avoir des conversations en tant que propriétaire d'entreprise,
Good. So I want to close off with the following, and it's something that Absima and myself have been engaging with a lot of people on the African continent.
Donc je clôture ainsi, c'est sur un point sur lequel j'ai travaillé avec Madame Absa.
Startups. Do you know what
Et d'autres personnes.
startups is?
Vous connaissez c'est quoi des startups?
Yeah. It's tech businesses that can scale.
Ce sont des business, des entreprises qui peuvent grandir.
What I found out recently was in Silicon Valley and at Stanford University.
Ce que j'ai découvert récemment à la Silicon Valley et aux États-Unis.
Yeah. And what I found that in the US they have 650 unicorns.
Ils ont 650 unicorns, des génies, des startups.
It's $1 billion business, right?
C'est un business qui vaut des milliards de dollars.
It's businesses that scale. Facebook is long time a unicorn, etc.
Facebook a été donc un des unicorns.
55% of those unicorns are immigrant founders.
55% de ces entreprises unicorns sont fondées par des immigrants.
Which was quite amazing.
Ce qui est très impressionnant.
We have on the African continent, we had 8, but we have 3 unicorns that we are sure of. They are still unicorns.
En Afrique, nous avions 8, mais il y en a 3 dont nous sommes sûrs de l'avenir.
What this tells you
Qu'est-ce que nous devons comprendre?
is that through a startup visa and a common policy for startups on the African continent, a startup from your country again? Gabon might have a better opportunity to build their business from Sandton.
Nous devons comprendre qu'une entreprise peut avoir une meilleure opportunité de grandir. Une entreprise du Gabon peut avoir une meilleure opportunité de grandir en Afrique du Sud.
A startup from South Africa might have a better opportunity to be based out of Egypt.
Et cela à travers la carte de visa d'entreprise et les polices d'entrepreneurs. La politique d'entrepreneur.
But what we don't have is the common policy, so I can't go there.
Mais
It's
nous
very
n'avons pas des politiques communes, donc je ne peux pas aller là-bas.
And what we then miss is the opportunity. I recently posted, in fact, 2 days ago, I posted that a startup in Cape Town raised $200 million.
Récemment, j'ai annoncé, il y a une entreprise à Cape Town qui a reçu $2 millions.
They were founded in Silicon Valley.
Ils avaient été créés dans la Silicon Valley, aux États-Unis.
They're from Eastern Europe.
Ils sont de l'Europe de l'Est.
They raised the equivalent of 10% of the entire continent of Africans.
Ils ont reçu 10% du montant total des entreprises africaines.
So for this year, we've raised $2 billion as startups.
Cette année, nous avons reçu $2 milliards pour les startups.
One startup that's not African, based in Cape Town, from Eastern Europe, started in the US, raised $200 million here.
Et une seule, fondée par des Européens de l'Est, créée aux États-Unis, mais installée en Afrique du Sud, à Cape Town, à elle seule, elle a reçu $2 millions.
And this is my point. Do we know how to do business? The answer is no.
Donc mon point, c'est est-ce que nous savons faire des affaires? La réponse est non.
Because we don't have a common startup policy. We don't have exchange controls. Our banks don't work together. And so it makes it very difficult for us.
Parce que nous n'avons pas les politiques d'entreprise communes. Les banques ne fonctionnent pas de la même façon. Donc ça rend tout difficile.
In Silicon Valley, you can raise $10 million for an app that tells you to stand up.
Dans la Silicon Valley, vous pouvez recevoir $10 millions pour une application qui vous montre comment vous lever.
In Africa, we solve real problems, difficult problems.
En Afrique, nous trouvons des solutions pour des vrais problèmes.
But if I come to you and say I clean water,
mais si je viens vers toi et je dis je rends l'eau propre,
I'll be 60 years old and you wouldn't buy my technology.
J'aurai 60 ans et vous n'allez pas acheter ma technologie.
Right? And so that's the call, and I'll close with that.
Et donc c'est ça l'appel que je vous lance et je terminerai par là.
I'd love all of you to stand.
Je voudrais vous demander de vous lever tous.
Thank you. It is, I was very fortunate to have worked with $1 billion startup in Africa 20 years ago, and I sold my own company as well. But I was very fortunate to work with people talented, but then had to leave the continent. Right? And they went somewhere else. But those very people, including Elon Musk, he would say that Africa is number one. So all of you, please look at our startup policy. Share them as far number one policy for this continent. If you put up your hand, you agree with us. The Bible says where people come together and agree, that shall be it. And so I want you to say with confidence that Africa is the number one economy in the world.
J'ai eu la chance de travailler avec les meilleures startups africaines ainsi que les meilleurs qui ont relevé les startups africaines et les startups mondiales, incluant Elon Musk. Donc, je vous demande vraiment de regarder les politiques concernant les startups et je vous demande également de répéter ceci.
And so say number one, but let's not say number one if we don't believe in it. We need to do business. And as government, you need to enable entrepreneurs to do business and stay out of the way of entrepreneurs. Let us do the business.
Donc, je vous demande de dire, nous sommes numéro 1 et ne le dites pas si vous ne le croyez pas, dites-le avec le cœur.
Nous sommes
Number one,
Nous sommes numéro 1.
Africa.
Africa.
Thank you.
C'est trop beau.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Hilton. You know, oh yes, you